Welcome, everybody. My name is Robbie Kirkham. I'm a minister of the gospel, and this is part 3 in my series, The End is Near. Part 3 is entitled Peace and Safety. The World Seeks Peace in the Middle East. Okay, so in the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, Paul was talking to the church at Thessalonica about the end times, and he said, "For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety," and by the way, in other translations, that's peace and security, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh on them as travail or birth pangs upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So yes, the coming of the Lord is as a thief in the night, but not for the Christian. Listen, we should not be surprised. Noah was not surprised that the flood came. Yes, the world was, but he was not. Verse 5, ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. In other words, Paul is saying, wake up. And that would be my message to you today, Christians. Wake up and look around, for all the signs of the times are here. All right, so is there talk about peace in the Middle East? This is talking about Israel and Syria signing a security agreement on September 25th. And here's a recent article talking about how the Saudi crown prince will visit the White House next month as the president pushes for Israel's normalization deal, peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel. This article is back from April of this year. Secret Israel-Gaza peace plan may lead to 7-year ceasefire. Now, we're in the middle of a ceasefire now. As far as I know, it doesn't contain the language of 7 years, but it's interesting because that's exactly the length of time that the Bible spoke about there being a 7-year peace treaty or covenant. Okay? United Nations Annual Report for 2025, Fostering Peace and Security. So over and over again, speakers got up and they talked about peace and security, or peace and safety specifically for the Middle East. And a significant vote was taken in September called the New York Declaration, where the General Assembly voted for a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. In favor 142, against only 10, with 12 abstentions. And every one of our allies and every one of our enemies, with few exceptions, voted in favor of this. Okay, so we see the world pushing for peace in the Middle East. Okay, so the president put out this some time ago. He said, "My highest aspiration is to bring peace and stability to the world. So when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them." Okay, this is from the White House, and this was after the president went to Riyadh back in May. He said, "After so many decades of conflict, finally is within our grasp to reach the future that generations before us could only dream about, a land of peace, safety, harmony, opportunity, innovation, and achievement right here in the Middle East." President Trump. Do you see that again? When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. And I think everyone probably saw this, unless you were just out of the country or totally had all media turned off. This is from Egypt back just a couple of weeks ago, where you see this huge gathering of Middle Eastern nations, the President of the United States, and many European nations. Peace 2025, it says. And there were some nations that signed this agreement, the ceasefire agreement for Gaza, peace in the Middle East, peace 2025. When they shall say peace, specifically though, everybody, peace in the Middle East. This is very significant. Please don't miss this. All right. Now, the Abraham Accords, that's a peace treaty negotiated by the president in 2020 between Israel and 4 of its Arab nations. there's much talk about expanding that as soon as this the demilitarization of Gaza and disarmament of Hamas happens. So they're talking about expanding the Abraham Accords. All right. And the president spoke about that specifically. So did the vice president, that the Abraham Accords will allow for regional stability that will last. Okay. So that's what they're talking about. Now, as I transition, if there's peace and safety, if they're talking about that, that means we're at the end times, and that means that there's going to be someone rise up that the Bible has told us about. And what I need to bring to everybody's attention is there is a tremendous deception in the end times, a tremendous deception. In fact, when the disciples asked Jesus about the end times, he specifically said, "Take heed that no man deceives you. Watch out." And in Matthew 24:24, Jesus said that if possible, the very elect would be deceived. And he also warned us of wolves in sheep's clothing. So the deception will be very strong. Now, I will say this to everyone that's listening. Listen, if the devil wanted to deceive the elect, which would be the Christians, or at least professing Christians, how would he do it? He wouldn't put forth a Muslim Antichrist, because that would not deceive the Christians. He would not put forth a homosexual Antichrist, as some have mistakenly suggested, because that would not deceive the Christians. Okay? So he's going to pick someone that would at least claim to be a Christian or claim to be on the side of Christians. I'm absolutely convinced, as I've mentioned earlier, that we are in the last seconds of the last days. As I mentioned previously, the scriptures warned us that in the end times there would be a great deceiver rise up who would be a substitute Christ and be received by the Jewish people as Messiah. Brothers and sisters, that person is on the earth now, perhaps to many of you hiding in plain sight. This human being has had books written about him with titles like the Son of Man, the Christ. So they're actually calling him the Son of Man, the Christ. Another book about him was called King of Kings with his name in it. Another one with his name in it said the second coming of Christ. In addition, there have been billboards placed with his picture on it that had scriptures such as the Word became flesh, which is about Jesus, and unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders, and that's also about Jesus. So you see this person being glorified as if he's like Christ or a replacement for Christ. Now, stunningly, this person was given a silver menorah Covenant of Peace Award from the Israel Heritage Foundation with the inscription, with his name, Covenant of Peace Award to the Prince of Peace. Now, if you've been a Christian very long, you know that the Prince of Peace is Jesus, and that's from Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. In February, this person was invited by the Jewish Sanhedrin court to come to Jerusalem to set up a universal divine court. Okay, so this human being was invited to set up a universal divine court. One of the leading rabbis of the Sanhedrin said of this person that his numerical value, so the gematria of his name, they're saying, adds up to Messiah, the son of David. All right, now Jesus warned us about this. He said, I've come in my Father's name, you receive me not, but another shall come in his own name, him you shall receive. So if we're looking for the Antichrist, the beast, then we should look for someone that the people of Israel were receiving. Somebody who comes representing himself and glorifying his own name. We are witnessing the fulfillment of this prophecy right before our very eyes. Our Lord Jesus Christ was given a crown of thorns, yet this person was given an award a couple of years ago, an award they called the Crown of Jerusalem, which exactly fulfills Revelation 6:2, for he shall be given a crown. Now, the etymology of this man's first name, his first name, and I'm not found any other names that mean exactly this, but his first name means ruler of the world. His mother's this man's mother's name is Mary, just like Jesus. So his mother's name's Mary, His first name means ruler of the world. His grandmother, Elizabeth, her maiden name is Christ. Have you heard that before? And this man's father, the man I'm talking about, his father's middle name is also Christ. Okay, in Daniel chapter 7, the Antichrist is referred to the little horn. The individual I'm referring to has a name that is a synonym for the little horn. This little horn is known for a mouth speaking great things and boastful words. And the person I'm talking about matches that description perfectly. From Daniel chapter 8, this person is a stern-faced king. Another exact match. Also from Daniel chapter 11, he's referred to as a flatterer, which again is a match. This person has authorized likenesses of himself riding a white horse, which is another fulfillment of Revelation 6:2, where the Antichrist is seen riding a white horse where he's a false Christ. Okay, this person I'm talking about put a video out back a few months ago that features a golden statue, a tall golden statue of himself that's erected in a reimagined Gaza City. It's just like the golden statue erected by King Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel chapter 3. This man has promised to bring peace and safety to the Middle East in direct fulfillment of 1 Thessalonians 5:3. And this person also has seemed to have a deadly wound that was healed in fulfillment of Revelation 13. And this man also rides around in a vehicle that is specifically known as the Beast. Okay. He also has numerous associations with the number 666, including owning a tower that is exactly 666 feet tall. On this tower, he owns a penthouse on the 66th, 67th, and 68th floor. And in that penthouse, it features a mural of Apollo on the ceiling. And Apollo just happens to be Apollyon, the angel of the abyss from Revelation 9. This person has said of himself, he's called himself, he said, I am the chosen one. And reposted comments comparing him to the King of Israel and the second coming of God, in direct blasphemy of the Lord himself. This person also oversees a powerful military in fulfillment of Revelation 13, who can make war with the beast. He's a big supporter of cryptocurrency as well as artificial intelligence, which are both going to usher in the mark of the beast. And he also, in exact fulfillment, there's a second person that he's allowed to exercise all of his authority in another fulfillment of Revelation 13. As you'll see if we get to it, there are many, many other scriptures fulfilled in exact detail by this person. He's the man of lawlessness. He's the king of the north. He comes from the west in fulfillment of Revelation. In fulfillment of Daniel chapter 8. So I'm convinced beyond any doubt that this is the identity of the end times Antichrist, the man I'm going to show you. He's known as the beast, the man of lawlessness, the little horn, the son of destruction. All of these matches to Scripture cannot simply be coincidences. It's not possible they're all coincidences. So, thank you for listening to part 3 of this. As you can see, we're coming to a time that there's growing push towards peace in the Middle East. That means that the Antichrist is certainly on the scene. And in this next section, I'm going to reveal exactly who that is. Thank you for listening. And again, knowing who the Antichrist is will not save you. You must know who the Christ is, and you must surrender your life and put your faith in Jesus Christ alone. Thank you for listening.